After Blip's demolition, one video's resurrection has been requested more than any other, a Redux review shot at the time in a fresh resolution. And so, over 5 years after its birth, the first Blipocalypse refugee returns to my channel. Tighten that belt and stand at attention for a true hero of legend. Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, here with a review of my hero. Let me tell you all about Transformers Generation 1. It's what I grew up on, it's what so many of us grew up on, it's what so many of us rode into the realm of plastic and die-cast, form-shifting mechanicals. And while I do prefer the modern engineering of today's Transformers merchandise, I can't deny that one of them stuck by me throughout my entire childhood. One of them was my hero. So allow me to introduce you to the greatest Generation 1 Transformer of all time. Action Master Elite, Omega Spreem. The Action Master Elites were a tremendously rare foursome from the tail end of Action Masters. So tail end that they were only really sold in wide quantities in Europe, the country who single-handedly kept Transformers going unbreakingly until the G2 line started. Omega Spreem doesn't really have all that much fiction about him, or at least, if he does, I have never really cared to go looking it up, because my story for him is far better, and really it just should be taken as fact. Omega Spreem is the bigger brother of the somewhat more well-known Omega Supreme, a large transformer whose overcompensating size and incredibly boring color scheme mark him out as a complete square. Omega Spreem may be shorter, but he is 100 times stronger and 5 million times braver than his little brother, not to mention that his libido can father love children across the universe. Some may balk at his color scheme, some may balk at his stature. Those people would be fools. It takes a real man to rock the cream, yellow, pink, red, and turquoise of Omega Spreem. And did I mention that he's not just an Action Master, but an Action Master Elite? We'll detail that in a sec. Let me give you the rundown of Spreem's functionality. For one, he does have a gun. It is called the Spreem Twin Lovin' Cannon. It's hot pink because when you have an instrument of death, that's how you make it twice as deathlier. He's got posability. He, in fact, has superior posability to most of G1. He has a neck joint, lets him look up and down. He's got universal joints in the early mid-90s on his shoulders. His hands can, well, they can actually turn into guns, but we'll get to that later. His waist moves a little bit freely, but it moves, baby. He's got universal joints again on his hips and Clicky Ratchet knee joints. Omega Spreem can rock out some real hardcore poses as he aims up, looks up, and shoots at the stuff. He's armed to the teeth with one lovin' gun, and that's all he needs. Look into the face of Omega Spreem and try to tell me that this is not the greatest hero you've ever seen. That vicious frown, that mouthless visage, the pipes on his neck that show you just how classy he is. Layered armor on his chest, Omega Spreem is protected, stylin', and ready to protect the galaxy. And since he's an Action Master Elite, his sheer willpower and enormous penis allow him to transform despite the ill effects of Nucleon. But before we get to that, let me show you one of the 999 deadly secrets of Omega Spreem. He's got a gun in the back of his head, because if you sneak up on him, you're already dead. But let me show you another one of the 999 deadly secrets of Omega Spreem. His hands can transform into a pair of mighty and deadly long cannons. Aside from letting this shoot all assailants on any side of his person, it also allows him to execute one of his super moves called the Spreem Whirlwind, baby. The It's with this attack that Omega Spreem is able to shoot everything in the entire universe.
Time to roll out! Omega Spreem Transmiters!
Gaze, ladies and gentlemen. Gaze upon the most terrifying war machine the galaxy has ever seen. This is Omega Spreem's vehicle mode. An unstoppable juggernaut of 5 cannons of justice, one of which is even pointed down at his own engine block just to make things fair for the gods and kings that he has felled with his ultimate attack, the Spreem Cyclone! I have actually taken his ammo out of his weaponry, so that I don't inadvertently end the universe, as Spreem has done in past, before he put it back together again out of boredom. This is a far improved version of his little brother's rocket ship base tank triple piece overcompensation alt mode. Omega Spreem is a compact pink and yellow death machine, powered by treads, love, libido, and fear. Other Transformers bend and contort themselves into demented shapes to hide their true nature and disguise themselves among the weaker machines of another planet. Omega Spreem has no time for such malarkey. He doesn't even bend, he just repositions himself, comfortably I might add. There is no Transformer superior in tactics, might, or chiropractic than Omega Spreem.
Finally, I, Skeletor, hold in my hand the ultimate power of the universe! With this infinite glove, I can wield the might of creation itself! By my terrifying will, I shall conquer Eternia once and for all! I shall become the one true master of the universe!
Hold it right there, sucker!
Oh, dares!
Boy, I can smell a small fry like you from a mile away. You think Omega Spreem's gonna let you have your way just cause you got a fancy pants glove full of godhood? I ain't even gonna need my women's to help me make you humble.
Ha! What can you possibly hope to do to stop me, you motorized midget?
Suck on my infinity! Spreem Cyclone!
Taste the fury of revenge!
I busted you like a chump, and now you lying on the floor like a succotash speed bump. Women's, let's go home. I need a fresh coat of wax on my big old chrome dome.
Really, there's not much else to be said. I just hope I've taught some of you who the real hero of G1 Transformers was. Omega Spreem fetches an incredibly healthy price on the aftermarket due to his overwhelming charisma as well as his rarity. There aren't that many people in the world like Omega Spreem, let alone the galaxy in fact. I dare say, our own dimension. And it seems that his scarcity is going to be pretty pervasive. There have been no modern remakes of Omega Spreem on the horizon. Even though the original Omega Supreme toy was reissued, the eHobby repaint was done up in some kind of blue Guardian scheme instead of the proper Omega Spreem color scheme that they should have done! So until the day comes when more of you out there can purchase your own Omega Spreem, no, not purchase, be adopted by your own Omega Spreem. He is unfortunately one of the least attainable Transformer toys to come out of the tail end of the first generation. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and I'll leave you with some words of wisdom from the man himself.
Hello, I'm Omega Spreem, and I'm here with a message for all the young growing children of America. Children, many of you probably wondering, how do I become big, tough, and strong as good old Omega Spreem, able to bare knuckle box with the gods? Well, let me tell you this right now, children. You ain't ever gonna become strong as Omega Spreem. You may as well give up right now. Just crawl back under your blanket. But if you think you got the balls, you think you got the fortitude, well, you still ain't gonna become tough as Omega Spreem, but you can become a demi-Spreem. There's room in the world for all kinds of suckers not as tough as Omega Spreem. And you can be one of them suckers. Hell, you might even end up with 2 fine, heavily armed, redhead women's like me. So stay in school, bust up chumps, drink your vitamins, eat your milk, backhand pussy-ass suckers playing hopscotch in the playground, grow lots of chest hair. And if you can't, You make all them laughing suckers pay for laughing at you and your big old pasty slap dapper and baby bottom chest. All you children of America can believe in yourselves and become almost as great as me, Omega Spreem. My name is Omega Spreem, and I endorse myself.